3, 2, 1. Breaking news in the NBA as Carmellpo Anthony has signed a one-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, joining LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and recently acquired all-star point guard Russell Westbrook. Now, in the City of Angels, can Carmelo and Westbrook claim the NBA championship that has eluded them their entire professional career? And two-time MVP and three-time NBA champion Stephen Curry has re-signed a 4-year contract with the Golden State Warriors. And starting tonight, for the next 4 weeks, our Nation Sports Show has you covered on the gridiron, because yes, it is back, baby! Are you ready for some Football Nation? Starting tonight, our Nation Sports Show starts its previews for this year's NFL regular season. Tonight, we dive into the NFC North and the NFC South as we make our predictions on how we think each team is going to do in their respective divisions. Can Aaron Rodgers have another MVP caliber season with the Green Bay Packers? As last week, we broke the news on a Nation Sports Show that he brought back one of his favorite targets back to Green Bay, wide receiver Randall Cobb. Can Andy Dalton keep the naysayers off of his back? Can he remain the starting quarterback in Chicago as Justin Fields is hot on his heels to claim that starting quarterback position in Chi-Town? And can Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, lead the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back-to-back Super Bowl champions? Nation, it finally happens tonight. We start football talk once again. The Nation speaks to you next. From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sports. Members of the Butler Nation bring to you our Nation Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Ezra Vicker, Todd, Sam and Cleveland, and Stephen Wyand.
Woohoo! We're finally live, man. God. What else?
Booyaka.
We're finally here after all these technical snafus.
Finally here. Finally.
Finally.
Hey, quit stealing my Dave Grohl, quit stealing my thunder.
Don't want to be your monkey wrench, buddy.
That's for sure. Hey, everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we are live now. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show. We are here. We are ready to rock and roll with some sports for y'all. It's going to be we got a hectic week of sports to cover, from NBA trades to, of course, what we're going to be covering here in just a few minutes, which will be the upcoming NFL season. And, of course, we're going to be talking about the NFC North and the NFC South tonight. And what better crew to have tonight to talk some football. Absolutely. And this is going to be a great, great show. But first, I'm going to send it out to our buddy from the great city of Cleveland, Ohio. The greatest thing to come out of Cleveland. Definitely not their football team, but it's none other than our buddy Sam. What's going on, brother? How you doing today?
You know, man, living the dream. Glad to be here one more time. Thank you for the invite.
Of course, man. We love to have you on these shows. Of course. And of course, next up is our boy right here from none other than the great state of Alabama, none other than Roll Tide himself. Todd, what's going on, brother?
Not much. Roll Tide, fellas. Excited to talk about some football. And it's getting that time again.
Oh, my God. This is already going to be a great show. I can tell you that now. And, of course, joining me, of course, is my brother from North Kakalaki, my heavy metal brother from another mother. That's Steven Wyand. What's going on, man?
What is up, nation? Let's put the pedal to the metal, kick some ass, take some names, and talk some football. Let's go.
Absolutely. Before we begin, of course, we got to get these particulars out of the way. Of course, the first being the ways you can follow. Of course, the ways you can follow us and interact with us. The first way, of course, is our social media. You can follow us on Twitter at @ON_Sports Show, and also you can follow us on Facebook too. Just search Our Nation Sports Show in the search bar. You can find us there. And then you can, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask us, hit us up there. Also, YouTube as well. YouTube, of course, youtube.com. Search Our Nation Sports Show. We need to get to 100 subscribers. We need that custom URL, guys. So bring us subscribers. Share, like, subscribe. Carrier pigeon, whatever you got to do. Bring it on. Send it to everybody that you know. Even if they block you, send it to you. But and then the final way is, of course, Discord. You can follow us on Discord. Nation's Corner, of course. You can follow us on there. Go to our Nation Sports Show tab, our channel, and you send us a little message that you want to talk to us, and we can even put you on air on a audio call as well if you want. Definitely, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to get right into it, guys, and that is, of course, the start of the upcoming NFL season. It'll be starting very shortly here. Tonight we're going to be covering the NFC North and the NFC South. Of course, the NFC North, my division with my Chicago Bears, which we're excited. I'm excited. Yeah, shut up. Remember when I said the only good thing that came out of Cleveland was you? I take that back. The only good thing to come out of Cleveland is Drew Carey. But
and the Guardians.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, we're gonna get into the NFC North division. Of course, that's the division. It's usually dominated by the Green Bay Packers usually every year. The upcoming, of course, we also got the Minnesota Vikings, the Chicago Bears, and the Detroit Lions in this division. A lot of shakeups and changes within the teams, especially the Bears and the Packers. Of course, the Bears getting Andy Dalton as their new quarterback. Still kind of indifferent about that, but that's for a whole nother discussion. Definitely we got him. Maggie's still around. Of course, we kept some great players on our side. But the biggest story coming out of the NFC North is, of course, the return of Aaron Rodgers. After the whole fiasco involving him and management and just that whole situation, he's back for another season. He's back with Randall Cobb, one of his biggest weapons that he's had over the years. So the question I beg to start with, guys, is your thoughts on this division and who do you see coming out on top, and who may be the dark horse in this division that could shock the big time team? Todd, we'll go ahead and start with you, buddy. What do you think?
I mean, I don't. As long as Aaron Rodgers comes back and he's Aaron Rodgers that we've always known and seen, I don't think there's going to be a dark horse. I think it's going to be them again. With so much uncertainty. What was that, Sam? Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad.
Sam interject. No, you're fine. I really don't. I don't see anybody pushing them. I mean, I don't know if y'all do. Y'all may disagree. You've got new quarterbacks with Detroit, Chicago. It's going to take time to kind of gel and sync with that. So, we'll have to wait and see. But Green Bay's always so good. So.
Yeah, definitely. According to some, I've been looking at Sports Illustrated here the past few minutes. It looks like right here, according to some stats books, from what it's looking like, looks like because of the schedule that Green Bay has starting off, especially with the Texans and the Jets and Bills to start with, and the Saints, they got some pretty I would say some pretty winnable games per se, but that doesn't mean anything in the world. It looks like, of course, according to this, it looks like, of course, they're going to take Green Bay to win the division overall. For me personally, I am going to go with Green Bay. Chicago, of course, I'm going to be biased with because that's my team, but I'm still indifferent about the whole Andy Dalton situation. I know that he's been consistent at times, but very inconsistent when it counts the most. But we still have our great defense. We still have, of course, Khalil Mack. We've got all the big guys on our group who were able to get through the offensive line and get to that ball and make the quarterback squirm and make mistakes. You know, we got some offensively, we got some great weapons on our end, and it's going to be interesting to see Minnesota. As far as Minnesota goes, I think if Kirk Cousins plays the right way, I think that he can, really, really shock the division. I think he would be my dark horse pick. Would actually be Minnesota. I think as long as Kirk Cousins stays healthy and he stays consistent and plays great ball, I think there's a possibility we could see Minnesota shock, because it's just, Green Bay. Yes, they got Rodgers. Yes, they got Cobb back. But that doesn't mean that Green Bay is going to be the same old Green Bay that we always knew, the dominant force that they used to be. They've had some changes made in their lineups. They've had some, especially with the, with this whole fiasco with Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers, while it's been a regular offseason for him, it's going to be interesting how his mental game is going to be this season with as far as playing and not, having a meltdown or anything like that on his team, because he knows it's basically his final year. So, but yeah, I'm going to go with Green Bay to win the division, unfortunately, as much as I hate Green Bay. But Minnesota is my dark pick on that. Steven? You're muted, buddy.
As much as I have destroyed Aaron Rodgers on this program, I have to go with Green Bay to win this division. And Chicago will be number 2.
You destroy Aaron Rodgers? No.
Wait, yeah. I am the captain of the bandwagon of Mr. Rodgers. And I think Chicago is going to be coming up in number 2 behind Green Bay. And if Kirk Cousins can stay healthy, I think that Minnesota has a pretty good shot at doing pretty good this year. And Detroit, sorry about Detroit. They're going to suck this year.
Oh, yeah, I expect Detroit to suck this year. I mean, come on, they've sucked every other year since then. That's just me being a fan. But really, Detroit, like you said, Todd, they got a new quarterback, but still, they don't have the proper weapons. They don't have
no.
A lot. Their team, I won't say it's anemic, but their team is nowhere near as strong as an NFL team should be. That's the thing that's going to be the death of them is the fact that they just don't have the right group of guys in that team to make it work and push them to the next level.
No.
What do you
haven't for years?
Yeah, it hasn't for years. Ever since their coaching changes were made, they got rid of Patricia. They got rid of him. They brought in some other coaches. It's been insane to see how many coaches, players, everybody Detroit has been through over the past couple of years, just because their team has just been horrible.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any comments about the NFC North Division and what we could see this upcoming season?
Yes. Just the fact that, Stafford is now gone from Detroit. He's gone to the Los Angeles Rams. And obviously I think, in my opinion, the Rams won on that trade because.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, God.
They were, dude, absolutely.
I mean, how the hell do you get rid of your best quarterback in your existence as a franchise? I mean, seriously. I mean,
they didn't get it for him. He wanted to leave. He made his time. He was over a decade in there. He made his time. It was time for him, like, hey, I've been losing since I've been here. It's time to go.
Yeah.
And they said, like, you know what? You're right. Go be a winner. Whatever you like. And they send it to the worst thing possible they can send it because they're gonna bite it in the ass. The Rams.
Yeah, I'm happy for Stafford. Getting the opportunity to finally play with a team that has the opportunity to go pretty far in the playoffs, and I think he'll make them a better team.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's Matt Stafford. Unfortunately, has been the wrong end of a losing game for way too long. Just so many bad, brutal defeats. And you know what? This you're right. It was mainly a win for the Rams to get Stafford, because Stafford is a good quarterback. He's got a great arm. He's durable. He's going to help the Rams out, especially. But yeah, he knew that Detroit wasn't going to go anywhere for any time in the near future. So he had to get him. He said, "I want to leave it and get myself out of here." He made the smart decision to go to a team that has success and has has made it to the big game and has made it to the big games and won the big games whenever it was possible. So definitely a smart move by LA to get a great quarterback like Stafford, who I believe is very underrated, only because of the fact he's been part of a team like Detroit. And we're not trying to pile on Detroit Lions fans out there.
Come on, make it easy to do.
Come on, you guys got to know the truth. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they know.
Look. I've been part of a losing team for the past 36 years. Okay, I'm still crying about that. Still crying about that Super Bowl where Indy kicked our asses. So definitely still wearing the wounds about that. But I think as far as that goes, let's move on to the NFC South. Of course, the division occupied by the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Good old Tom Brady. Basically the Thanos of the NFL. Once that
first.
To me, it's possibly the worst division in the whole NFL. Weakest, not worst, but weakest. To me.
And I know Sean.
You got Tampa Bay. Now you've got the Saints, who are in a big transition with Brees gone, and Carolina sucks. Atlanta's not going to be much better. They'll be better, but not much better. And Carolina might be a tad better, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything other than the Bucs producing anything out of that conference.
Yeah, it's gonna be different, especially like you said. And I know, Sean, you didn't want us to talk about New Orleans, but unfortunately, buddy,
who that?
Fortunately, we got to mention it. That is, of course, the elephant in the room, and that is the retirement of Drew Brees. Of course, that was a big hit for New Orleans. They're looking. They're basically in a rebuilding mode rebuilding their team.
And it's not just the quarterback play; it's the leadership and all those other aspects that he brought along with that.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely
huge.
He made everybody else around him better, because that's
where
Drew Brees is and was throughout his entire professional career. No matter if he was with San Diego for the first 4 years, and then he was with the Saints all those years. I mean, my God, the guy brought belief to the city of New Orleans when they had the hurricane in 2005 when Katrina hit. The moment he came to New Orleans, he brought hope and dreams to that city. And they won the Super Bowl in 2009, obviously, against the Indianapolis Colts, 34-17, brought on by the infamous ambush onside kick to start the second half. I mean, and let's be honest, Todd, you hit it right there on the money. Who does New Orleans have on their roster that they can trust? Jameis Winston? Who the hell's going to trust that guy? That guy led the league in interceptions 2 years ago. He threw something touchdowns.
Get him some crab legs. Maybe he'll play good.
Oh, dear God.
And then they bring in a 40-plus-year-old behind him, and he goes on to win a Super Bowl. So,
Absolutely.
Jameis is not the answer to their quarterback.
No, absolutely not.
Position.
Well, guys, you cannot forget the coach that they have, Sean Payton.
That's true.
That is true.
Hall of Fame coach, man. A Hall of Fame coach with great mind. You got to take that tandem combination of Drew Brees and Sean Payton. Those two, for those 15 seasons, were inseparable.
Yeah. But and Sam brings a great point. Peyton will bring things out of Jameis Winston that we've probably never seen before. I just don't think it's going to be enough to matter.
And not only that, but it's just the whole situation. I mean, Drew Brees retiring. Obviously, that was going to happen eventually. But Jameis Winston is not in a great position because as far as being trustworthy because of the season that he had a couple years ago, like I said. But hopefully with a coach like Sean Payton right there at the helm, maybe Jameis can cut down on some of those turnovers, because remember this, guys, when Teddy Bridgewater was the quarterback a couple of years ago, he did pretty well. He did pretty well.
He won 5 games and didn't lose.
Yep.
Yeah.
He did pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, Sam. Sean Payton's a great coach, and he will get things out of Winston we can see, but 16-game season, it's not. Yeah, it ain't gonna be enough to. I don't think push them very far.
No. Like I believe they're gonna win at least like 9 games because of the coach that they have, and the defense is still not bad at all.
The great defense, absolutely. Year in, year out, one of the better ones. Yeah,
absolutely. New Orleans has always had, or New Orleans has always had a good defense. They've always had a good defense.
But then you turn around, you got Atlanta floating around right there at the bottom, and I don't know that they'll ever recover over that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots.
They have a new coach. They don't have Julio Jones. They have a new coach. They kind of rebuilding a little bit. So it's Carolina too. So this division is Tampa Bay all the way. So
now let me ask you.
Absolutely.
Now we know Matt Ryan is a veteran. He's been playing in this league since 2008. Are we seeing near the end of the line for Matty Ice in Atlanta? As far as could he be retiring in a couple of years?
I mean, I think so. He's taken a beat in the last couple of years. You don't think so, Sam?
No. Because this coach that they got, that's a good coach for him. This guy is really good, the coach. I forgot his name. But he been around, like he's an offensive coordinator too. And I believe like the last couple of years, he been throwing more passes than nobody else. And he's throwing for a lot of yards. The thing is like the defense sucks. They cannot hold anybody. That's their problem. It's not Matt Ryan, it's the defense.
I mean, Sam is right because Matt Ryan last year did put up some great numbers, but that defense, because everybody blames all Atlanta's offense for choking. Well, you got to blame the defense as well.
Yeah, you got to make a stop every now and then. That's true. And Arthur Smith is the new head coach, and
Arthur Smith, yes.
Yeah, and he is offensively brings a little bit more to the table, and their defense isn't terrible. But I mean, to me, Matty Ice has just taken the last 2 or 3 years a lot of hits and ran for his life, on several occasions. And, maybe let's put it this way. I think he's closer to being done in Atlanta, Stephen, than done overall in his career. I would really love to see him get an opportunity for another team.
That's interesting because, I mean, like I was fixing to say, Atlanta last year with that offense and defense, it was both on them. It was not all on the offense because the defense has to make those stops, just like in the Super Bowl. We're putting the blame on the offense when Kyle Shanahan was drawing up those plays in the fourth quarter, but at the same time, your defense needed to be blamed as well for that loss as well because they had multiple chances to stop Tom Brady and the Patriots in Super Bowl 51 down there in Houston in 2017.
We even forget about that. That was a couple years ago. That doesn't matter. We're talking about right now.
Right, exactly. But now, as far as last year, I mean, the same scenario was brought up. The offense was, not making the right plays. Well, the defense wasn't either. And that's why they lost to Detroit. That's why they lost to Dallas. How the hell do you lose to Dallas in that scenario?
Like 30 points. They were winning like by 30 points, and they lost in the fourth quarter. It's like, and they were beating Tampa Bay by 21 points, and Tampa Bay came back and beat them.
Exactly. And what's so baffling to me is the fact that they that Dallas, obviously, we knew in that game they were going to kick the onside kick because that was their only chance in a prayer.
Yeah.
How did Atlanta not know they were going to do that? Are they that blind? I mean, damn, I know I'm blind as a bat, but apparently the entire team last year was blinder than I am because they don't have the common sense to know that the onside kick was coming. Come on.
I tell you, that's what happened. If you have a Sean Payton in that thing, a Belichick, that doesn't happen.
That's not going to happen. Exactly.
It's coaching.
At that level, though, at that level, it should never happen. Ever.
Exactly.
At that level.
And also with Carolina getting Sam Darnold. I mean, that right there is going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Maybe give him some new life. You know,
I mean, at the same time, you got to have the offensive line to block for you. And Carolina, to me, has a better offensive line in a way, better than the Jets do because.
No, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, just the history of having good offensive line down there. You know, I mean, over the years when they had Cam Newton down there in the MVP year in 2015. I mean, just have to wait and see. I mean, but like you guys are saying, this is Tampa Bay's division, and let's be honest. They are the best team. Mark it down. The best team in the NFC conference right now because of Tom Brady. They are locked and loaded, Super Bowl champions, and I think they have a pretty good shot at repeating as champions.
Oh, I agree. With all he's got coming back, surrounding him, defense is really good too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They have to go over the Browns in the Super Bowl. I'm telling you.
You know what? I listen. Y'all laugh. But I think Sam could be right this year. I think Cleveland is going to really, really go far. And I know we're not talking about them yet, but you know, I would not discount it.
It's our first.
This is the thing. The first game of the season for Cleveland will say a lot about the team. The first game, they play in Kansas City. The first game, that will say a lot about you. Well, I still believe Kansas and the Buffalo Bills are the top, and the Ravens. Don't discount the Ravens.
Well,
they're still in the top change.
Let's not talk shit about the Ravens.
I give my respect to the Ravens.
Let's not talk shit about the Ravens because there might be a certain Baltimore cop who may listen to our show.
Yeah, she might come after our asses, but yeah, But I'll say this because I know we're going to be previewing them in the next couple of weeks or so. But Lamar Jackson needs to get it together. He needs to get it together. But, you know, back to what we got going, you know, right here today with these NFC North and South divisions. I mean, it's just, I mean, hell, who knows? It could be Green Bay and it could be Tampa Bay back in the same scenario, you know, later on this year. Who knows? But, I mean, I don't see.
I don't see it either because, like you said, Tampa Bay's got basically their Super Bowl team returning, and this is a team that played last year, that played absolutely lights out, and they just killed it. The question is, though, the question I have with Tampa Bay is that, and this has nothing to do with any like a Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. The question is, can they keep the momentum going? You know, an offseason can sometimes change things. You're sitting there stagnant, not really doing anything. You have this momentum. The question is, can you continue it? And Tampa Bay has all the qualities, too, because they got Tom Brady at the helm. They've got guys like Rob Gronkowski. They got a great offense, great defense. They can do it. It's just a matter of the consistency.
Well, think about this as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
The reports that are coming out of Tampa is like that Tom Brady is losing his shit, throwing the helmet, yelling at teammates because he's coming from a winning culture. This guy's like, we are the Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady's like, my favorite ring is the next one, not the last one. So
yeah, it's the next one. Yeah.
So it's basically like they have in training camps now they didn't have last year. So I believe they follow Tom Brady's lead like they did last year. I believe they're going to keep the momentum for sure.
Yeah, and you also have to take into consideration that last year's season was played pretty much in front of no crowds with COVID and all. So now you've got the crowds back as long as everything can stay the way it is. If it does, you know, COVID-wise, and it makes a big difference when you got, you know, 50,000+ in those stadiums cheering you on or booing you, whichever, gets you motivated. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to keep them kind of charged up as well, having those fans there in the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. We see this all the time. We see this all the time in pro wrestling. We see this all the time in all sports and all different sorts of competition-based events. When people have fans in attendance, it adds to the adrenaline. It adds to the fuel.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to talk too much into the wrestling aspect, but Tommy Dreamer has said before on Busted Open Radio that when he didn't have the fans behind him in his matches, he blew up a lot easier. He didn't have the same, momentum behind him. But when he heard these loud, screaming, yelling fans chanting his name and getting him going, he loved it. It gave him that extra wind, that extra gear to push forward, no matter how tired, how winded, how down he may have been. And that's the same thing in football. These teams who maybe, down by a touchdown, sometimes the fans will pull them back in and they'll feel that energy and it helps propel them forward with the momentum, the adrenaline. And, that's the thing that's been missing for a lot of teams, I think, is that crowd. And with them back at close to 100% capacity, it's going to be insane, especially in towns like Seattle, Green Bay, Chicago, Tampa Bay, all these teams that are known for having these large, insane crowds. It's going to be interesting to see how they play with that extra momentum behind them.
I totally agree.
Definitely. Do you guys have any more you want to talk about with the NFC South? I mean, pretty much we know Tampa Bay. It's pretty much a washout with Tampa Bay winning this division easily, without a shadow of a doubt. Since we're good on that, we're going to go ahead and move on to some NBA talk. And trust me, there's a lot. There is a hell of a lot.
Little bit.
Tomorrow marks the end of the NBA free agency deadline for this season. For the middle of the season, man, there's been some trades, some signings. One of the most notably being the re-signing of Steph Curry. One of the biggest contracts ever signed. 4 years, $215 million to stay with Golden State, man. Talk about a big payday for one Steph Curry, man.
I don't believe no player worth that much money. Nobody.
Absolutely. No. I'm glad you said it so I didn't have to be the bad guy. Absolutely not. I mean, listen, get what you can get. We all, we would all sign that contract if we could get it. But nobody's worth that. Nobody. I mean, any sport.
Breakdown.
It's like that.
No, go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I just believe that's like, guys, like, I don't care. I want everybody to be a millionaire. Billionaires gonna make their players millionaires. But it's like a slap in the face to humanity. Just give somebody $50+ million a year because he's a great shooter, probably the best shooter of all time. I believe that's a disgrace, to be honest. I don't believe nobody worth that. Not even Jordan in his prime.
No. And if he's not worth it, nobody's worth it.
You know what? Yeah. And I know we're getting a little bit off the rails with this as far as, but I think musicians are totally underappreciated. I mean, that's a lot of work, on the road, playing shows, practicing, perfecting your sound. I mean, musicians are totally underpaid unless you're a superstar band.
Well, I mean,
unless you're any the Eagles
artist, he is probably, and I consider athletes artists.
Band. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But as far as this contract, it's crazy. 2 contracts extensions with the Warriors over the years. Obviously, this is his second extension. And both of his contracts were worth at least $200 million.
Yeah. So I don't think he's generating that kind of income for the team or community.
My only worry with Curry getting this kind of money, I don't know how, with this money that he's getting, is how is this going to benefit the team? Because Golden State has hit rock bottom.
Yes, they have.
Left the team, and Klay Thompson has obviously been out with those injuries.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, I mean, that team was built. It was a dynasty, one of those dynasty teams that was just put together to win like they did.
Yeah.
And then when they had to blow it up, now that you've got your mainstays like your Currys and stuff, they're finally, they're getting those paydays. But I'm like Sam, it's got a little. Matter of fact, going back to the football, I saw a little story today. I didn't read much about it, but Tom Brady was telling all the players they better start paying attention to what's going on with the unions. That the owners are starting to get a lot more income, I guess, whether it be television revenue or whatever.
Right.
But the players' salaries aren't going up. And he's like, y'all better watch your money.
Well, part of that is also not only television revenue, but it's also ticket sales, because the fans are back in attendance. That the organizations, the players, the venue itself, they all share cuts of the revenue. So with that extra revenue coming into the team, it's gonna help with. It's going to help raise the profile of the team itself, and especially when it comes time for contract negotiations, they're going to be able to help. They're going to be able to push out a little bit more money towards the players that want those contracts with more money. But they have to play it smart, because this is the first season back where we have that where teams have that extra revenue. But I agree 1,000%. Steph is not. I'm not gonna say he's not worth that kind of money, because he's an elite caliber player. But to me, nobody deserves that $200+ million to play a game of basketball. Give me a fucking break.
Or any
Come
sport.
on.
I mean,
Or any sport. That matter. You see these baseball players like Giancarlo Stanton getting a 15-year deal worth $315 million.
That's a lot of money to be.
Are you out of your damn mind?
And he's not doing crap. That's like, baseball is my love. And I don't understand why a player like, let's put, for example, Albert Pujols, signed for like 10 million, 10 years. He's gonna give you 4 good years. That's it. And you know that, because by baseball, with the arbitration and the thing on you for that many years, and then you say like when you are 28, they don't wanna give you 10 good years. Like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it.
No, I agree.
Fernando Tatis Jr., I totally understand. He's 22. But when you sign a player like when they are 28, like for 10 years, 12 years, they don't want to give you 10 years of production. They give you 4 or 5. That's it.
Yeah. Well, like, the Mets are still paying Bobby Bonilla $1 million a year back from 25 years ago. It's insane.
Right.
The man ain't even picked up a baseball in 15 years, unless the sign one.
Right.
Living the life, man. Just like
without a doubt.
Right.
And then all that does is get passed over to hot dogs, parking, admission. We're the ones that pay for it.
Yeah, that's the thing about that is like Sam said, I just don't see it. Like, nobody in the world, except for if you're an actor, I could see it. If you're in some form of other entertainment, I could see it in some cases. But a game of basketball, something easy that anybody could do if they practice hard enough, you're getting paid $220 million. It's insane. And you want to talk about that? We have another player who got paid that, and that is Trae Young. Trae Young, for 5 years, $207 million extension to stay with the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Trae Young.
People are just throwing away money like it's nobody else's business.
Trae.
Our friend Trenda out there on YouTube said, well, he is Steph. Huh? And she's right. He is Steph, but at the same point,
I will give him that. He's not
he's Steph, but he ain't Steph.
The fact that Trae Young is getting this money after 1 year as an all-star caliber player with the Atlanta Hawks, just because he took a team that was on their deathbed to the Eastern Conference Finals. To the Eastern Conference. Wait. Damn it. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. It was the.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
You're right.
I'm so pissed off with this deal. Yeah, I'm getting back to the question of my sanity. The fact that Trae Young is getting paid this kind of money after one freaking year with Atlanta, taking Atlanta to the Eastern Conference Finals, makes me sick.
Crazy.
You know what?
Are you gonna say Steph Curry Ali is a 3-time champion? And
Right.
he
Trae Young has not won nothing with Atlanta.
nothing.
Nothing.
Nope. And he ain't gonna win nothing. Not in Atlanta.
Because he doesn't have the complete team around him.
No.
Won a championship.
This year was This year was a fluke.
Because Antetokounmpo has a better team around him than Atlanta does. I mean, you got Chris Middleton, you got Drew Holiday, you got Brooke Lopez, you got all of these players, Connington, all of these role players that know their role and they played their role to a T. You got what the hell's the other guy? The other guy in Milwaukee, Portis. Yeah, you got him. You got
Bobby Portis. Yep.
Bobby Portis. You got all these great role players for Milwaukee. They are here to stay. And Atlanta is going to fail, in my opinion, with this contract because you need to build around you having a complete basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
You don't.
Well,
go ahead.
I was going to say, going back to earlier when we were talking about the football, what Tom Brady was trying to tell the players to watch, and the same thing's going to happen in the NBA because they both have caps. He was saying because the owners are making more money, that basically he's telling the players and the players' union that, hey, we need to start fighting for higher salary caps. It's got to end at some point. I mean, the NBA is even cheaped out where they've got the little sponsors on the basketball jerseys like the WNBA does. I don't want to see Wish on the Lakers jersey.
I don't want to see State Farm.
Whatever.
I mean, my God.
Yeah.
See these damn
that's just pimping out for every dollar. That's just ridiculous and sinful. I don't know.
I mean, my God. I mean, I cannot believe that Trae Young. This is the first time I heard about this deal. What the hell? I mean, come on. I mean, Trae Young is not even worth the money. I mean, I dare anybody to say something to me. Oh, Steve, you don't know what you're talking about, dude. Did you see Michael Jordan?
You don't know what you're talking about.
Shut up. Everybody's better than you anyway. Anyway, and it's
better
good.
than Elder.
And it's good. And it's good. Anyways, so I mean, the fact that did you see Michael Jordan getting paid that kind of money after a couple of years? No, he got paid that kind of money over time.
Long time.
Trae Young is getting paid this money one fucking year after being.
And times have changed, and we all realize that.
Times have changed my ass. I know times have changed, but the simple fact that this guy is getting paid a shit ton of money after having one freaking good year with Atlanta. Oh my God, I want to go bald.
Don't worry, I'm already there. Okay.
God. These overpaid. Over freaking paid. I'm sorry. Overpaid.
We have another I wouldn't say it's as big as Trae Young or anything, but Chris Paul, of course, he has re-signed with Phoenix.
Not surprised.
On a 4-year, $120 million deal that'll keep him until he's 40 years old.
Okay. Well, at least he found his home.
The last 2 years are no guarantee.
No.
There are players and team options right there. So the first 2 years are guaranteed, but the last 2 are not.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy. I mean, and then oh God, and then the other news that broke this week with Carmelo. I mean, give me a break.
Dude,
unbelievable! I was shocked.
Back to the Knicks.
The Lakers are the oldest team in NBA history.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. This Lakers team is the oldest team ever assembled in NBA history.
Well, and Dwight Howard signed. Did Dwight Howard sign with them, or are they thinking about signing? He did sign, correct?
They did sign.
He signed, yes.
He's back with the team.
Oh my God!
With a second championship. Yeah, what did you do?
Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, and Trevor Ariza.
Wow.
So is Wayne Ellington,
And then LeBron.
Kent Bazemore, Kendrick Nunn, and Kalen Horton Tucker. Those are all the pickups
Amazing.
that the Lakers have picked up. One of the most interesting pickups I saw was actually for Chicago Bulls, and they got DeMar DeRozan.
Yes, they did. That's a hell of a pickup.
The Bull got so good.
They got DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, Daniel Theus, and Tony Bradley.
That's a good pickup. That's a good pickup for Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, Chicago.
I'm telling you, the Lakers this year, they're going to have a hard time. Hard times, baby. They'll be serving hard times, baby. Because
you know what? That's fine with me because I don't want to win this.
Tired. I am sick and tired of LeBron assembling these fucking super teams.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Yeah. If LeBron is that great, he does not need a super team to win a damn championship.
Are you freaking kidding me right now? Are you calling this a super team?
Hold on, Sam. I am. Hold on, Sam. We know you're from Cleveland. You're delusional. Listen, you got.
Are you calling this Lakers thing a super team?
Shots fired.
I love
Shots
you.
fired.
I love you, buddy. But seriously, I mean, you got LeBron, you got Anthony Davis, and you got the best ball hog on God's green freaking earth, Russell Westbrook, on this team. I'm telling you, dude. If LeBron thinks that this is a super de-duper team, well, I'm sorry. Well, this team is going to fall.
Yes. You know what? They're going to have to score about 130 points a game because they're not going to be able to stop anybody.
Russell Westbrook is going to be give me the ball. I mean, come on. I mean, this is
Anthony. He cannot shoot.
No, he cannot shoot.
They need a shooter. like this thing is not going anywhere.
They got rid of Caruso. I'm like, what are you doing? That was
Chicago.
Yep, exactly.
Another big contract notice for you before we continue on this discussion, and that is that Jimmy Butler re-signed with the Miami Heat 4 years, $184 million.
No.
Good for him.
Smoke. What has he ever done? And he's good.
He's good.
Oh, Jimmy's an awesome player. Of course, I'm biased to him because he's from my team, the Bulls.
$46 million now a year?
Yep.
You said 184?
184
for 4?
Mil. 184 mil.
Yeah, there's not a basketball player on earth worth $46 million a year. It's just not.
Hell no. I can live the rest. Give me 10 million and I can live for the rest of my life with that. I bet you.
Same here.
Exactly.
And live really well. Yeah.
You talked about the Knicks earlier. You mentioned that with Melo, not returning to the Knicks. Derrick Rose is staying with the Knicks. I believe a 3-year, $43 million deal to stay with New York.
Wow.
And Julius Randle.
And he added Evan Fournier as well, too.
Yep. No,
So
the Knicks have a pretty good future ahead of them. I'm surprised I'm saying that. I mean, is it promising? We'll see. I mean,
it's better than they've had the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, last year they started making a turn for the better. We'll see. They've been out of the mix for so long. Isn't it amazing how they used to be one of the premier teams, and now you don't even think about them really.
No, I mean everybody used to love. I love going to the Garden. Well, now the mystique is gone.
Absolutely. A couple more quick contract notices, and then we'll move on to a little bit of baseball talk. I mean, there's only a few things it's on there right now, but one other thing is the addition of the Oklahoma City Thunder re-signed Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They gave him a rookie contract extension worth $172 million. That is, I believe, over 5 years.
Okay.
Still decent. Yeah.
Still decent money especially for a rookie, but he's.
I don't know what the caps are anymore.
He only played 35 games. He only played 35 games, but his average was 27.5 points a game.
Oh yeah.
He earned he earned his money in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially compared to some of these other contracts.
Oh, definitely. Goran Dragic is now in Toronto. He moved on.
Okay.
He was involved in a sign and trade as well with that. He will be making 3 seasons, $90 million. And one other one, and then we'll kind of move on from this discussion, and that is that Kyle Lowry, he's going to Miami.
Whoa!
Oh, I did not see that.
Yep.
Wow.
Kyle Lowry will be making $90 million for 3 years as well as part of a signing trade.
That's a pretty good.
I did not. Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, so a lot of big shifts this off season for
Yeah.
NBA.
We're just getting started with the NBA free agency period. Like, this is crazy.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
the signings actually ends. It actually ends tomorrow, Steven.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. The big free agency signings. The deadline for that is tomorrow.
Man.
All right, we're gonna move on to before we begin MLB, I'm gonna do a little quick score update for you all. So, but man, what a great discussion so far, especially with the NFL getting into a little bit of this upcoming season. I can't wait to dig deeper. Next week we're doing the what are we doing next week, Steven? The East and the West.
NFC East and the West.
All right, man. I can't wait to move on to the AFC so we can trash the Cleveland Browns. Sorry I said that.
Well, my friends, I have to go and take care of a little child.
No.
All right, buddy. Sam,
That's the most important thing.
you, brother.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, guys. I talk to you later.
Okay,
All right,
buddy. Have
brother.
a great night. We'll
Talk to you soon, Sam.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
No, but
Hey, quick score update. You know, y'all do know Pittsburgh Dallas is playing in the Hall of Fame game right now.
Yes.
Yep.
0-0.
It's
10 minutes left to
0-0.
go in the first. Yeah, no score.
Wow, I thought it was gonna be up like I thought it was gonna be like 21-0 Steelers over the Cowboys. Yes, I am brutal. Leave me alone.
Quick, is there any fans there tonight?
Yes.
Good.
I'm glad you got it on TV because I sure as hell don't right now. There's nothing against the Hall of Fame game. My TV is not on right now. But all right, let's get to some scores real quick, mainly in the world of Major League Baseball because that's really the only games outside of the Hall of Fame game that's playing right now. We got right now the Mariners taking on the Yankees. Mariners are up 2-1, top of the fourth. Blue Jays are beating the Indians right now. Well, they still call them the Indians right now. Their name hasn't fully changed.
Yes.
So
Not the Guardians yet.
Still calling it, so fuck off everybody else. But the Blue Jays are taking on the Indians 2-0 right now. Blue Jays are up in the top of the fifth. The Reds are up 7-0 over the Pittsburgh Pirates in the top of the third. The White Sox and Kansas City Royals are just started. 2 outs right now. Knotted at 0. The Astros and Twins just started. Knotted at 0. Braves and Cards just started as well. 0 apiece. Marlins beat the Mets 4-2. Tigers beat the Red Sox 8-1. Angels beat the Rangers 5-0. The Rockies beat the Cubs 6-5. The Giants beat the Diamondbacks 5-4, and the Phillies beat the Nationals 7-6. And that is your score update right there. All right, let's get into a little Major League Baseball, and unfortunately, we got to start off with some sad news. Unfortunately, in the world of baseball, and that is that we lost a great right-handed pitcher for the Houston Astros. J.R. Richard unfortunately passed away today at the age of 71 due to a stroke. He was a big guy in his time, 6'8" tall. Great right-handed pitcher. He was around for a good while. Richard had a 107-71 record with a 3.15 ERA and 76 complete games for the Astros. He won 18 or more games in 4 straight seasons from 76 to 79, And in 78, he became the first Astros pitcher to reach 300 strikeouts in a season with 303, a record he broke the following season with 313. On the all-time list, he ranks tied for second in career ERA, third in strikeouts, fourth in complete games, fifth in wins, and fifth in shutouts. In 2019, he was part of the inaugural class inducted into the Astros Hall of Fame. So,
he was more in my, y'all are too young, and he was in my, era of when I used to really love watching Major League Baseball. I played, like you said, for the Astros and all those really good Astro teams. And he was 6'8", 220, just intimidating up there on that mound. Could throw about 100 miles an hour. Had a slider. He threw about 83 miles an hour, if you can imagine trying to hit a slider going that fast. And freakish athlete, man. Had about 200 basketball scholarships offered to him coming out of high school. Senior year, didn't even give up a run in baseball as a pitcher. And just, I think his debut, Major League debut, he struck out 15 batters, tied a Major League record. I don't know if that still stands today. But, amazing athlete. So, 71 years old. James Rodney Richard. They're going to Houston Astros will miss him.
Absolutely. Like you said, we were pretty young for this gentleman. We were more important when he was around, but he sounded like a great pitcher, great intimidating guy. Definitely a legend for the Astros organization. We definitely send our condolences and our prayers to the family, friends, and fans of J.R. Richard at this time. Now we're going to get into some news here. One of the things I wanted to get into in the Major League Baseball world is more positive COVID tests for the Yankees, unfortunately. This is something I mentioned before we started. Gary Sanchez, who was a catcher for the Yankees, tested positive, which brings the total test positives to 3, with Jordan Montgomery and Garrett Cole currently were sidelined with the virus earlier in the week. So hopefully they can get that under control in that organization before it gets too far down the line where they have to start canceling full games.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to talk about is an upcoming game that some people have been talking about, and that is the Field of Dreams game between the Yankees and the White Sox that'll be coming up. You guys hear about that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very, very cool.
Yep, it's gonna be awesome. They just showed off the new uniforms that they will be using for that special
I didn't
game.
know they were going to do the unis. That's awesome. So is it going to be like old school uniforms?
Yep. Yes.
That's great.
It says the White Sox uniforms feature navy blue pinstripes with a large Sox monogram on the left chest, which will match a white cap with navy blue pinstripes. And then the Yankees, they have the New York lettering in a thinner and wider typeface in a modern-day jersey with navy blue on gray with no white outline or on the sleeve trim. And, yep, they said that this game will take place at Dyersville Ballpark, where Field of Dreams was originally done.
Yeah.
It'll feature a corn maze right behind the right field fence and a manually operated scoreboard and bullpens behind the center field fence meant to resemble old Comiskey Park.
Yeah, very cool.
So being a fan of the White Sox, that's a pretty damn cool thing. And again,
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
I definitely cannot wait to see that game. That is going to be absolutely cool to watch.
Now, when are they playing it? What's the date
playing
again?
in Dyersville Ballpark.
What date? The date.
Oh, the date. I'm sorry. The date on the game. Let me check here, real quick. See, I believe August 12th. So next week.
Oh, so soon. Yeah, next week.
Yeah,
week from tonight.
Yeah, week from tonight. We're gonna have that game. That's gonna be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Some other quick MLB news. Right now, looks like the Cleveland Indians have extended their lease at Progressive Field, so it looks like they will not be leaving for a little while. They're going to be keeping They're going to be in the ballpark until 2036.
Okay, that's good to know. They can remain the guardians there, progressive.
Yep. And speaking of baseball, it's not MLB, but some big news. The United States baseball team beat South Korea and will now be in the baseball gold medal game.
Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations to them.
And congratulations to the United States men's basketball team as well, because they'll be playing in the gold medal game of the winner of Slovenia versus France.
That should be an automatic, though. It really should. I mean, don't y'all think?
But you got to watch Slovenia because they got one player that's been dominant.
But
Luka Doncic.
He's a bad boy, but he should be good enough to beat the U.S.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah, by himself.
Bad. He is bad.
Especially when they got Kevin Durant leading the helm over there in that U.S. team, man. So.
I tell you, that's the only thing about Doncic. He cannot do this on his own. You got to have, again, the complete team around you to help you out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because the last game Doncic played, he scored, I think, like 41 points just by himself. So, yeah, he's been kicking ass and, taking names when it comes to that. That's pretty much, I really don't have anything else in the world of baseball to talk about or see at this time as far as news goes. So, you know what? We're going to transition a little bit. Let's get into some MMA here. Why not? One of the big things is an announcement of, it looks like Luke Rockhold, of course, former UFC title contender, is going to take on Sean Strickland coming up. Of course, Rockhold has not minced words about Strickland here. He says right here that he is a fucking idiot.
That's not mincing words at all.
That's fighting words, buddy.
Yeah. He put, this is a quote from him. It says, "I think Dana's trying to make it harder than it has to be. Obviously, just because of my outspokenness on different things. But this kid, Sean, has been offered to me. So, I mean, they're trying to do something. I haven't heard any dates or anything like that. But that is something they're interested in. And yeah, let's do it. I mean, he's not the most. He took a ranking. He did his thing. But that doesn't help him in any way, shape, or form with his style and his performance on mics. He goes, they offered me Sean actually a while back, and I just wasn't interested because he's a fucking nobody. It wasn't the fight I wanted. It didn't make sense. No one knew of him, and I don't give two fucks about him. And now it's like Dana's trying to pick me off with it. And now he's obviously been out there. He beat Uriah Hall. He looked decent. So there's something to work with, I guess, now. Yeah, so Rockhold is let's just say he's very vocal about Mr. Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sean Strickland had a great performance against Uriah Hall a couple weeks ago, and what was a fantastic fight. So
yeah, Uriah Hall's a good fighter, really good fighter.
Oh yeah, Uriah Hall's a great fighter. Strickland's looking really good. Of course, with Rockhold, we know him. He's been in the middle. He was in the middleweight championship picture when Anderson Silva was champion at the time. Yeah. So we know how good he is. He's a great striker, great ground specialist. I think he's gonna do good. But one announcement here is the return of a fighter who had been retired, and that is Chad Money Mendez. Chad Mendez, of course.
Did not know he was coming back.
Yeah, of course, Chad Mendez, who was formerly a member of, I believe, Team Alpha Male with Uriah Faber in them at one point. He's signed a multi-fight deal to sign with the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championships, the same promotion that Paige Van Zandt is a part of as well. He announced that on the Joe Rogan Experience, of course, the podcast with Joe Rogan. No free ads. We gotta make sure we put that every time. But that's a big thing, and I'm glad to see Chad Mendez is back. Hopefully he does well. I know how good Chad Mendez was in the UFC. He was a great fighter, great striker, great wrestler. Overall, he's got the skills to do it. So, but one other thing, is we got a big card coming up this weekend, August 7th, UFC 265. It's going to be the main event is actually going to be Derrick the Beast Lewis, who's been an absolute monster in the heavyweight division. Great heavy hitting, one punch knockout striker, taking on Ciryl Gane, who is number 3 currently in the UFC's heavyweight rankings. Right now Ciryl Gane is 9-0 in his professional career. 3 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission. So he's got a little bit of both.
Yeah,
may pose a problem to Derrick Lewis.
I love to see fighters like that can both stand up and take it to the ground, and multi ways of taking you out. Just makes for a much more interesting fight.
Absolutely, especially because we see in a lot of heavyweight fighting where it's basically strictly ground game. And while it's cool to see them throw hands and it's exciting, I like it when these heavyweight fighters can show the different skills that they have, especially. You get the heavyweights, like Randy Couture, who competed at heavyweight for a while, who was a collegiate wrestler who was one of the best in his division to do it. And a guy who you can beat you up on the ground, can hit you, can get you striking. You don't see that a lot. You didn't see that a lot back in the day. You saw these guys, these big 260-pound, 50-pound fighters who were just up there strictly throwing hands.
Yeah.
But now you see these guys who are definitely well more versed and have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts and Taekwondo and kickboxing black belts who are out there, throwing hands, but can also submit you if they want to.
Yeah.
Like a guy like a Daniel Cormier.
It makes it really exciting.
Yeah, like a guy like a DC, a Daniel
like Cormier. Yeah.
He's a prime example of a guy, a big heavyweight guy who has knockout power, but can also take you to the ground because he's a 2-time national champion, and he can take you to the ground,
choke you
out, or beat you senseless. Steven, your thoughts on this main event fight?
Oh, it should be a very good main event. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the UFC has been killing it these last couple of months with these. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, I really don't know who to pick at this point. I mean, it could be anyone at this point. I mean, UFC this weekend, it should be a really good pay-per-view. I mean, these last couple pay-per-view cards have really delivered. And I really think having the fans back, watching these fights live, I mean, it's really giving the fighters, the guys and gals, that extra energy boost, to get out there and fight, put on a good show and fight their asses off. We'll see.
Definitely. It was, I was checking some stats real quick. Derrick Lewis, he's been in the fight game for a while. He's got, his record is currently 25-7 with 20 wins by knockout.
Whew.
This guy's a knockout beast, man. He is a knockout artist, that's for sure. He's also got an 18-pound weight advantage over Ciryl Gane, too. Gane is 248. Derrick Lewis is around 263, 265.
Well, if that's the case, you know what? Lewis all the way. Because with the pound advantage,
he's also got experience advantage too.
Exactly.
Like I said, Gane is undefeated 9-0, but it's Derrick
Lewis the knockout artist. I mean, 25 wins, 20 by knockout. That's Derrick Lewis all the way.
Todd, you had something to say you wanted to input into?
Well, I was just going to ask y'all what y'all thoughts were on Jose Aldo. He's incredible and has been for years, but it seems like the last couple, maybe 3 times, he's struggled more. It's like 29-7 overall, but man, in the heyday, he was awesome. But what do y'all think about him? And I actually, to be honest, I thought he had retired. I really had. I don't know why I thought that.
I mean, he had that fight with McGregor, obviously, in Madison Square Garden. I mean, that was a huge fight for him. And I was like, oh, he's back. Actually, obviously, you said he had a couple of fights, previously, Ezra. But it's like shit. I mean, I thought the guy was gone. I mean,
I did too. I really did. They got him ranked 5th as bantamweight.
Not bad.
Overall.
Not bad.
Many people consider him the greatest bantamweight in UFC history, or greatest featherweight in UFC history. Because you got to think, when he came in, you got to think he dominated. He dominated the featherweight divisions in both. I believe it was WEC. He was WEC.
Loved him in WEC.
He dominated that division. He beat some of the best fighters. He beat Little Nog.
Right, Faber.
Right.
He beat Uriah Faber, Mike Brown, Manny Gamburian, Mark Hominick, Kenny Florian, Chad Mendez was beaten over this time, Chan Sung Jung, Ricardo Lamas, Frankie Edgar, who's, in my opinion, one of the best wrestlers out of that division. But he's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights overall. His last victory was his last one again on UFC Fight Night Thompson versus Neal, where he defeated Marlon Vera.
You know what?
Yeah. And some of those fights were ugly too. I mean, he got whooped.
Yeah.
You know what? I think he's going to bounce back this weekend. He needs a win, and if he needs a win right now, this is the most important time right now in his career in MMA. He needs this win this Saturday night.
Well, you got to think also, this is Aldo's 18th year in the sport. So, as you know, father, it's always said, Father Time is undefeated. And when it comes to especially in the MMA world, definitely. I mean, there's guys who still continue fighting even past their prime. The guys like Chuck Liddell, guys like Tito Ortiz, Randy Couture, even Ken Shamrock. There's guys who fought way past their prime, but they make a mockery of their legacies by continuing to fight. It's like we always say about bands who stay too long at the party. They need to hang it up when their skills start to erode instead of faking things or whatever. These fighters who and I understand, 18 years is, compared to 18 years in football where it's, you're getting concussed and all that stuff. This is a very physical sport. Injuries happen almost every other fight to these guys because they're breaking hands, they're breaking hands,
serious injuries,
dislocated and things like that. Mind you, like I said, Aldo's no spring chicken. 18 years in the sport, heading on to his 19th. I'm guessing he's starting to slow down, and I think that's the reason why he's not as feared as he used to be. Ever since that McGregor fight, he has not been the same.
No. Connor took something out of him without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%. And he's got a great opponent. Pedro Munoz is ranked number 9 in the bantamweight division currently right now. He's got a 19-5 record. He's lost 2 out of the last 3, including Frankie Edgar, lost in a split decision, and Aljamain Sterling, who's absolutely the top fighter in that division, the current UFC bantamweight champion. Lost to him by unanimous decision. He did come back and beat Jimmy Rivera by unanimous decision. He's got 5 wins by knockout and 8 by submission. So,
that's impressive.
Yeah, definitely. His style is definitely looks like more of a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt type of deal. But that's also Jose Aldo's style too. But he's also a knockout guy too. So it'll be an interesting fight. Also, to cap out the main card, we've got Michael Chiesa versus Vicente Luque, Teisha Torres versus Angela Hall, and Song Yadong versus Casey Kenny. So, pretty strong card. It's going to be different.
Yeah, pretty strong.
And then, of course, you got veterans. You got veterans on the preliminary card, like Bobby the King Green and Ed Shortfuse Herman, Ed Herman's the guy who's been around with the UFC for years. I remember he's been there since the Ultimate Fighter season 3.
Wow. That's a couple years ago. That was a long time ago.
Oh, dude, he's been a professional. He's in his 20th year in the sport, man.
Damn.
Incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, the next
never did it at that level.
Oh, absolutely. To do it at that level and to stay in the MMA and to stay in the UFC at that proves something right there. There's a bunch of upcoming UFC fight nights and UFC Vegas events coming up, but Of course, the next big one after this one will be UFC 266 Volkanovski versus Ortega, which also on that card features the big fight between Nick Diaz and Ruthless Robbie Lawler, which we're all
Ooh, that's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, that's going to be yes, that's going to be brutal.
And also the co-headliner being Valentina Shevchenko defending her flyweight title against former Invicta bantamweight champion Lauren Murphy. And Shevchenko is no joke. So
no joke at all.
She's a beast of a woman. Let me tell you that now. Absolutely one of the best.
And I know a lot of people, don't pay as much attention to the women as they do the men. But man, if you really get serious and watch them, they can go, and they go really hard. I think it's wonderful to watch women fight.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. If it wasn't for women like Ronda Rousey, women like Gina Carano, Cyborg, and Demisha Tates, and all those
Nunez and all those gals.
Nunez, Holly Holm. To me, I don't think women's MMA would be in the spot it is right now, and I'm glad that it is, because we have something to really show that women not only, and Michelle Waterson even, the karate hottie, who proves women can be beautiful, but they can also kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's exactly. 100% honest to God truth, and it is 100% the truth. So definitely, I'll go for women's MMA and women's fighting in general.
Do we have a score update in the Hall of Fame game?
Todd?
3-0, Dallas. 13:44 to go in the second quarter.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Justice Man. We know that you're serving the roads out there and doing your
thing. Early.
Yeah, it's still early. What's up, Steve?
But I do want to ask you guys, to piggyback to the NBA, for a little bit with this Lakers team. I mean, honestly, how do you guys think with Westbrook, with Anthony, with LeBron, with AD, how are these guys going to do this year? As far as what do you guys think is going to be their position in the West? I mean, are they going to be?
If I'm AD, I'm not happy. If I'm just not. I mean, the styles. You got what are you going to do with Carmelo? I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. You're going to have to score 130 points a game because you're not going to be able to stop anybody defensively.
No.
Westbrook is a great distributor of the basketball. He's, you can't stop him going to the goal. But God bless him, he can't hit a 15 to 25 footer to save his life.
We forgot about this too. I mean, the guy at one point was a pretty good free throw shooter, but in the last several years,
had the yips or something.
Yipped really bad. It's like he's got the free throw curse. I mean, for God's sakes.
Yeah. One of the things that concerns me about the team is Russell Westbrook, because of how much of a ball hog he is. If you notice in Oklahoma City, a lot of those triple doubles he scored was because of him.
Yep.
He broke the record for single season triple doubles, and they were all because of him.
He's the type that has to have the ball in his hand. Yeah.
Yep.
That's a problem I have, is him being a ball hog. And LeBron is not going to stand for that, neither will Anthony Davis.
Right. And so maybe they had long talks. Maybe they all sat together around a table and he understands his role, and his role is supposed to be a distributor of the basketball, not so much a scorer, but man, in the heat of the game or the middle of the game, I can't see him doing that.
that's going to affect him, I think, in my opinion. I mean,
I do too.
When you've been sort of your entire professional career, I mean, he has had some great games over the years, but he's also had those games where it makes you want to scratch your head.
Oh, geez, yeah.
I mean, the shots. I mean, there'd be times where he'd be dribbling and just shoot the stupidest jump shots when and not let the ball flow.
He's bad about taking the whole team out of the flow of offense. He really is. You can't get a good rhythm going with him sometimes. So. And
you know what? You brought up a great point about Anthony Davis. If I'm Anthony Davis, I'm like, guys, we won the championship because of me 2 years ago. I mean, LeBron, you did great. But if it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have won this championship, because Anthony Davis was dominating. And you know what? In my opinion, AD, to me, should have been the MVP for the NBA Finals in 2020 against the Miami Heat.
I agree.
I mean, without any questions.
I agree, absolutely. Definitely great point, Steven, for bringing that up real quick.
I think real quick, sorry. I think they're going to finish at least 4th or 5th in the West. They're not going to be one of the top tier teams in the Western Conference. It's Phoenix's to lose again.
A third into the season, they're going to start getting tired and their legs are going to get weary. And, you just see it coming.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we wrap up the show here shortly, I wanted to come up with a couple of or one or two quick NHL news reports, and that is that we have right here. Thomas Tatar has signed a 2-year, $9 million contract with the New Jersey Devils on Thursday. It has an average annual value of 4.5. He was an unrestricted free agent, 30 years old, scored 30 points, which is 10 goals and 20 assists in 50 regular season games with the Montreal Canadiens last season. It had 1 assist in 5 Stanley Cup playoff games. So not bad at all. Good money to be made there. Then that's one of the NHL is one of those sports that has a very low, like when it comes to players making big money, that's one of the sports that has the lowest amount of big contract signings because they don't make that, because players don't make $126 million for 2 years.
Right. I think they keep it more realistic too, as far as what their expectations of the player. I think the players keep their expectations correctly. The owners and everybody else. It just seems like they manage their money a little bit better. But just be on the outside looking in.
Yes, absolutely. One thing is Pierre-Luc Dubois, who is a player on the Winnipeg Jets. He will be wearing the number 80 this season to honor his player, his former teammate Matisse Kivnieks, who died on July 4th in a freak fireworks accident.
Yes, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, he was only 24 years old when he passed away on July 4th from being hit with a firework. And
what a way to honor his teammate.
Yeah,
and friend.
Yeah, definitely that'll be really emotional for the team, especially for him to wear his teammate's number. Let's see what else. Real quick. Aiden Hill agreed to terms on a 2-year contract with the San Jose Sharks on Wednesday. He mainly did that, according to this, to avoid a salary arbitration hearing.
Oh, yeah. Get it before it gets gone, kind of. I better just take what I can get.
Absolutely. That's pretty much it on news. I think we can wrap up the show right now. Let's get to some final thoughts before we head on out of here. Steven, why don't you kick us off, brother?
Man, what a great show with you guys, man. I mean, just talking sports, and man, the NFL is back. And man, I'm telling you, it's so great having fans back in the stands. And next week we continue our NFL season previews with the NFC East and West divisions. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's going to be great to talk about those divisions and really wrap up the NFC and move on to the AFC once again, so we can torture Cleveland Browns. I'm completely kidding. Todd, your final thoughts?
Great show, guys. I always love hanging out with y'all. A quick update. Steelers just blocked the Cowboys field goal attempt. Either that, it was the worst kick ever. I just kind of glanced out the corner of my eye. But anyway, Pittsburgh's got the ball moving in here in the Hall of Fame game. About 10 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
It's Dallas. It's the worst kick of all time. Sorry.
It could have been, dude. If he missed it that bad, they're going to have a lot of trouble. But maybe it was blocked at the line of scrimmage.
It's a shame. Love you, Todd.
But love hanging out with y'all and appreciate you. Thanks for having me again.
Of course, Todd. We love having you on, as always. Final thoughts from me, real quick, is what great show. First of all, thank you, Sam, for joining us earlier. I know he said he had family stuff to attend, so he couldn't finish the rest of the show with us. But it was great getting to the NFL talk with him and getting some NBA contract stuff with him as well. free agency deadline ends tomorrow, so look out for any more deals through NBA's official social medias and all that too. Overall, great show, great discussion. Just overall, once again, another week wrapped up in the books, man. We want to thank everybody for joining us as always. Of course, you can follow us once again on Twitter at @ON_sports show. Search Our Nation Sports Show at Facebook. Like us, share our posts. And of course, here at youtube.com, search Our Nation Sports Show. Get us to 100 subscribers because we need that custom URL so it'll make it easier for you guys to find us as well. So for Sam in Cleveland, for Todd in Alabama, for Steve and Wyand, I am Mr. Vickery, and we will see you all next week on another edition of Our Nation Sports Show. Have a great night, everybody.
Peace. Turn me up.